Hey guys, Hung Lee here, and welcome to today's presentation where we're going to be talking about why business cards are for losers and LinkedIn SEO. So, what exactly are you going to learn? So, firstly, you're going to learn how to stop killing trees, how to stop being a sprinkler at networking events, and by sprinkler I mean, well, if you've ever been to any form of any business or strategic networking event, there's always that one person, that one sprinkler, that when you go ahead and encompass their sort of interaction for about 2 seconds or maybe 1.5 seconds, the first thing they do is shove a business card in your face, don't even introduce themselves, and they couldn't care less about building meaningful connections. So I'm going to give you a strategy to stop doing that if you are doing that. And if you are currently doing that, please, 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 from this point onward, stop doing that, because if you are being that sprinkler, not only are you going ahead and hurting your reputation, but you're also hurting your business. So I'm going to give you some actual strategies to be able to go ahead and no longer have to be a sprinkler, or to go ahead and really see yourself from a different view in terms of how you will go ahead and build credibility at a networking event. Also, why traditional business cards are just way too static, and how your actual LinkedIn profile is the 21st century dynamic business card, which displays social proof, which can go ahead and produce instant authority positioning, which can go ahead and really position you in a much better place than what a normal business card would do to begin with. So we're going to talk about the power of LinkedIn SEO, so getting found in LinkedIn search, and as mentioned, it's going to produce instant authority positioning. But the great thing about this is it's not going to take you 2 months, 3 months that traditional Google SEO would do, which that also has its plus side to it. But you can go ahead and optimize your LinkedIn profile to be found within LinkedIn and be able to do it in about 10 minutes or less. Not months, not years, but only in 10 minutes. Okay, so why LinkedIn? So why not Facebook? Why not Google Plus? Why not Pinterest and all these other social networks? Well, for starters, it's time for a new approach. It's time to focus simultaneously on expanding both your offline and online network, and to be able to seamlessly integrate the two in a strategic approach, in a strategic manner that nobody else is doing it correctly. LinkedIn is also the largest growing professional search engine, and so when it comes to really being on LinkedIn, people aren't on there tweeting about what they had for breakfast. They're not on there looking at pictures of cats or dogs. They're on there to do business, and they're on there to really market themselves and their company. So it's best to go ahead and position you and yourself and your company there as strategic as possible. But you do need a strategy behind that, of course. Also, more than about 50% of LinkedIn users are the actual decision makers. They're not looky-loos, they're not window shoppers. They're people who can really make high-level decisions within the corporations, whether they're Fortune 500 companies, whether they're big-scale local or national companies. Generally, at least more than half of the time, they're the real decision makers, and these are the business owners that you want to get in touch with, especially when you're working in the B2B space, where there's coaching, consulting, or even professional services provider. These are the prospects that you really want to get in front of. Okay, so let's look at some LinkedIn stats. So I won't go ahead and read the entire list. I'll just read out some of the stats that I believe to be most congruent, most relevant at this point in time throughout this whole presentation. And the first stat that I'll read out is LinkedIn has over 350 million members at this stage. I know you're most probably thinking, okay, that's not as much as Facebook, which is very true, but these are 350 million. Of half of them, 175 million, provided my maths is correct there. So let's say 175 million prospects of those are the actual decision makers, so potential prospects that you could possibly do business with or could actually connect with, who could refer you to someone. That's a boatload of prospective clients that you could really go ahead and network with. So certainly keep that in mind. Also, the average LinkedIn user has at least about 240 connections. So when it comes to strategic networking, just know that when you build one relationship, one person, it's not just one person you're connecting with. You're connecting with them and their potential network in the event that you choose to nurture that relationship, of course. And that's why tools such as LinkedIn, that's why tools such as email marketing or even Facebook, all these social media tools, when done right, can really nurture and enhance particular strategic partnerships and strategic networks in a way that no one else is doing it. So that's the whole point of all these strategies that I'm going to be discussing in this presentation and more presentations in the near future. So this whole 1 degree, 2 degrees, okay, I'll just give a little summary of what this actually means. Okay, so for 1 degree freedom connections, people have at least about 35,000 trusted connections who they're connected with. So this is generally the connections that they'll somewhat be connected through a friend of a friend within particular LinkedIn groups. 2 degrees is friend of a friend of a friend. So at least about 3.2 million people within that two-tier network. So don't worry if you don't know exactly what that means. All it means is when you connect with one person, it's a ripple effect. You actually have access to their network, in which you can somewhat access to that person's network as well. So moving along. So you're probably wondering, okay, all these stats, all these ideas, okay, it's all great. Well, where the heck do I start? And that's a great question. So first place to start, of course, is your LinkedIn profile itself. And before we get right into it, let's go ahead and really talk about, okay, what the heck do I mean by LinkedIn SEO? What I mean by LinkedIn SEO is being found in the actual LinkedIn search bar when they're searching for people. So for instance, when someone's searching for a business coach, for an SEO consultant, for a life coach, whatever type of position out there, they're looking to do business with someone. They're looking to really connect with what potential types of business relationships can really be formed just from going ahead and starting the search on LinkedIn itself. So with me personally, I do a lot of online marketing. I do a lot of strategy consulting, strategy coaching, public speaking, so forth. But who I really want to be known as is a strategy coach. So I'm just obsessed with strategy. Hence, as you can see in my profile over here, I've optimized my profile to be found for strategy coach. So as you input strategy coach into the LinkedIn search bar, you'll notice that it's actually bolded within my surname area here. On the next few slides, I'll go into how you actually do that. So I'm actually ranked number one for the keyword strategy coach out of 692,689 people, which is pretty cool. It's a very good sort of marketing sort of authority positioning tactic which you can really use when it comes to talking to prospects. And next few slides I'll go into why that's actually important, but just know that whatever keyword you want to rank for, it's best to really be clear to know if people are actually searching for that as well. So strategy coach, business coach, so whatever type of position. Okay, so LinkedIn SEO. So what are the major steps that we really need to take into account before we really start to optimize the profile? Well, step one is you want to determine the keyword that you want to be found for within LinkedIn. So think of a commonly searched term or profession in which your ideal prospect would be seeking you out for. For instance, you could think you're the number one, I don't know, banana and cat juggling clown or something like that. But if nobody's searching for that on LinkedIn, you're not really going to be maximizing your LinkedIn profile. You must probably be wasting your LinkedIn profile to begin with. So you want to think of a term that's commonly searched for. For instance, you could be someone who's a local search engine marketing strategist. You can call yourself that, and because that's such a long term, you may know what that is, and it may sound like it's great because it's a long tail keyword and be easy to show up in Google for, but what you want to show up in LinkedIn for is more of a general term, because your ideal prospect will not know what the heck a local search engine marketing strategist is. But if you had yourself as an SEO expert New York, or SEO expert California, or SEO expert Denver, or something like that. So if you have the actual occupation with the geographic modifier, those are the easiest keywords to rank for. But you can always try for SEO expert. It will just take a little bit of work, but just keep that into account that if you have a general occupation with your geographic modifier, that's the easiest keyword to look for. But just remember, general beats specificity when it comes to optimizing within LinkedIn. Okay, step two, ensure that your profile includes the chosen keyword that you choose in step one in the 8 specific places, which I'm going to further mention on the next few slides. If you go ahead and shortchange yourself, only put it in 4 of the 8 places or 2 of the 8 places, you're most probably not going to show up in the number one spot. You probably maybe on the number one page, whatever, but you want to go ahead and really maximize your chances by having all bases filled. And step 3 is that you want to ensure that once you've achieved this and optimized your profile, you want to leverage this authority position for both your digital business card and for when you attend your next strategic networking event. And here's a big tip. Here's a big tip that a lot of people on LinkedIn are doing wrong, and that is they're going ahead and treating their LinkedIn profile like a boring resume. What you want to do is you want to treat your LinkedIn profile like it's an actual sales letter. You want to sell people on wanting to do business with you, on why they should go ahead, know, like, and trust you, and be inclined, be inspired, and instructed to actually move to the next step and contact you to be able to do business with you. And you can't do that by going ahead and writing it like a boring resume. Boring resumes are all about this is what I've done, this is my history, this is what I learned, blah blah blah. It's nothing about the end actual prospective client. It's nothing about the end customer, end client, and that adds no value. So you want to go ahead and write it in a way that really captivates your prospective client, that really fascinates them to say, oh my god, John's someone I want to do business with. Hung's someone that I've actually been looking for all along. Thank goodness I found them on LinkedIn, which is a trusted source. Okay, but ensure that it does not look spammy. Like all too often, I've seen hundreds, thousands of LinkedIn profiles I've looked at, both for my clients, both for the fact that I've spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, and I've just seen so much keyword spamming that is just ridiculous. Like honestly, like if you were to go ahead and talk to someone, would you mention who you are about 50,000 times in one sentence? You wouldn't do that. Hence, what on earth would you do it in the digital world? So just keep it in mind, keep it into account that you just want to make sure that just looks nice, it flows well, and it really is an extension of who you are. Your LinkedIn profile is an extension of who you are, not some sort of mumbo jumbo alphabet soup that you want to throw a whole bunch of keywords and see what sticks. Period. Okay, so there's 8 specific spots as mentioned where you want to ensure that you position the keyword you want to rank for to actually be in. So the first position is within your surname. So you're probably wondering why the heck would you want to have your keyword in your surname? This is a sneaky little trick that I've been doing for the past few months that literally nobody is doing on LinkedIn, or well, very few that I've seen up until this date. So I'll put my entire full name in my first name, which is Hong Lee, and then in my surname, I'll actually put a couple of keywords which really resembles who I am and who I want to be known for. So in this case, I've got strategy coach, consultant, speaker, but strategy coach is my main profession I want to be found for. So position one, which is a surname. So just ensure that it's somewhere in there. You could have marketing consultant Denver, SEO consultant Denver, on a SEO expert Denver, life coach New York, just whatever you feel comfortable with, put in the surname. So just really get creative there. Okay, so section 2 is the headline. For headline, what I'm split testing at the moment as I record this video is that I want to be able to actually ask a thought-provoking question that gets them to continue reading my profile. So my thought-provoking question is actually integrated to my unique value proposition, which says, would you like me to personally double your business and halve your stress in 90 days or less? So sure, I could go ahead and repeat strategy coach again. I didn't think it was too necessary, but you can go ahead and include that in. For instance, if you're trying to optimize for SEO consultant Sydney, then you could have, would you like an SEO consultant who actually delivers rapid results? So have something that can go ahead and still integrate your ideal keyword you want to be found for, but also it seamlessly integrates into your unique value proposition and what differentiates you from the market itself. Okay, position 3. So you'll have the name of your current company. Personally, what I've seen to really convert a lot better and get much more traffic to my site is to go ahead and just write in my www.url, which is hunglee.me. As we speak, this is my consulting website. So I'd rather go ahead and link to my URL. You can go ahead and name it as company. It's up to you. I just found this converts a lot better. Okay, so section 4 is your number of connections. Here's what a lot of people don't know about this connections section here. So if you have less than 500 connections, LinkedIn will have no hesitation in going ahead and showing to people how many connections you have. So if you have 3 connections and you're trying to connect with high profile or affluent sort of prospective clients or customers, yeah, they're not really going to take you too serious. They may think that you're sort of new to the game, you're a bit spammy. So how the heck do you bypass that when you're new? That's also a good question. So the number one place to go to is go to Fiverr.com, and you want to search for a Fiverr gig under LinkedIn connections. So search for LinkedIn connections. What will happen is there's a series of outsourcers. I'll let you guys find it out. There's that many you can use where they'll go ahead and export the mailing list of people who are part of the LinkedIn Open Network, which is the Lion Network, so LION, so LinkedIn Open Network. You go ahead and you import those connections into the back end of LinkedIn, and you invite to connect with them. They've already told LinkedIn that they're willing to connect with everyone, the open network is. This is nothing shady about it, just to be clear. This is nothing shady, nothing grey hat, black hat, whatever type of hat you want to call it. It's completely ethical, but you're going ahead and just boosting up your profile by having this metric have 500 plus connections. But once you do go ahead and achieve 500 plus, I suggest strongly to really be choosy about who you connect with, because for anyone who's used LinkedIn for more than about a week, you'll notice that there's a lot of spammers on LinkedIn who are constantly sending you personal messages, buy my stuff, Gary Vaynerchuk calls it, jab, jab, right hook, but they don't do any jabs, they just right hook, which means they just constantly try to hard sell all the time. That's not who you want to be, so be very selective after you reach this 500 plus. Be very selective who you connect with. That's my word of advice moving forward. Okay, and then section 5 is the LinkedIn vanity URL. So you can include the keyword in here to have in your sort of, I guess, short name. Personally, I focus more on personal branding, so I like to have my name in there. But if you want to optimize for, say, life coach New York, or SEO expert Denver, go ahead and make sure you include it in that URL, because it really does help with getting found in Google SEO as well as LinkedIn. Okay, so the section 6 is the summary, so where you really talk about, who you are, what you've done, why you do what you do, who's your ideal client, and who are you looking to go ahead and do business with on LinkedIn. Go ahead and include some documents or photos or any other parts of rich media that really showcases your portfolio. For instance, you could be an interior design consultant and you want to go ahead and really have a portfolio or pictures and photos of your previous work. Also, if you're web design as well, that's always important to go ahead and include that on your profile, which this is something you can't necessarily do on a business card or even on a typical resume. Hence, this is why I love LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn profiles, because they're so much more dynamic. They're not static like a business card or resume would be. Then section 7 is your experience and current position. So ensure you also have the keyword listed in here as well as your title. So I've got business strategy coach, so I've got strategy coach listed here, and strategic marketing consultant. Just make sure it's listed here at least once in your title, and go ahead and include it in your actual description as well. So it's really about, section 6 and 7 isn't about spamming, it's about making it look nice, look neat, but at least include it a couple times there so that LinkedIn knows that it's highly relevant. Okay, then the last section is section 8. So I have a lot of LinkedIn sort of, I guess, experts or LinkedIn associates always tell me this is a gimmick section, but it does help a little bit in terms of skills and endorsements to go ahead and include your keyword here, provided it makes sense. For instance, if you're online marketing consultant Denver, you don't want online marketing consultant Denver as a skill. You want online marketing as a skill. So just use a bit of common sense here. Just take the general skill from the keyword you're trying to rank for, add it as a skill, because it really does help with getting indexed and getting found on LinkedIn itself. So just have it there. Over time, you'll have random people endorse you. You have normal people endorse you. It's just, I guess, one of those things to really break the ice, but just for now, just make sure that you insert the keyword as a skill, but just ensure it makes sense. Okay, so you're probably wondering, okay, Hung, this is all great. All these big ideas, steps on how to go ahead and include the keyword in your profile. What on earth is the point of all this LinkedIn SEO to begin with? And here's how you really leverage it. So the next time someone asks you, hey John, have you got a business card? You don't want to go ahead and be typical, okay, here's my business card, blah, blah, blah. I want you to go ahead and be much more of a strategic entrepreneur, whether you're a life coach, business coach, strategy coach, marketing coach, consultant, whatever you want to call yourself, cat juggler, whatever. Hopefully not cat juggler, but at least some sort of decent profession in that case. No offense to cat jugglers, but you want to respond in a different manner. So you want to change the conversation. You want to be able to control the conversation. So how you want to respond is, no, I don't have a business card. Reason being is, one, I'm eco-friendly. Look, we're in the 21st century. We don't need to keep wasting paper. And two, I like keeping everything digital. Majority of my stuff is digital. We're in the 21st century. So how about you go ahead and just go on LinkedIn right now on your mobile phone, right now in your pocket. Go on LinkedIn if you have the app, or linkedin.com, whatever, and type in keywords. So type in, business coach San Francisco. Type in strategy coach San Francisco, or whatever keyword you're trying to optimize for, and you will see my profile at the top. And just have a look. Just have a look at that person's face when they go ahead and see your profile at the top of LinkedIn, rank for that keyword. It's much more strategic than the response you would normally get from a typical business card. And the moment they find your profile for that keyword ranking at the top, and they're looking at it on their mobile phone or mobile phone, depending which part of the world you're in, then ask them on the spot, let's connect on LinkedIn, and we'll take it from there. So, is that much more strategic approach than business card? I strongly think so. And the reason why this is so powerful is for the following reasons. One, it creates instant authority positioning for your market. Sure, you can go ahead and get some great business cards and stuff, but business cards are static. You can't have endorsements on there. You can't really talk about who your ideal client really is. You could go ahead and fit in maybe a paragraph or two, but to be able to really have the strength of what LinkedIn provides with rich media and so forth is very highly unlikely. Also, you're able to leverage off LinkedIn's trust and brand equity, because LinkedIn is the number one trusted B2B search engine. So why not go ahead and make yourself trusted on that platform by positioning yourself correctly as outlined in this presentation. Thirdly, it allows you to expand both your offline and online network in a way that no one else is doing. When you give your business card to someone and you connect with them in that way, that's a one-to-one medium. When you connect on LinkedIn, now you have access to their network. Now they have access to your network. It's a win-win situation. And lastly, sometimes you may be asked to actually do this for your prospective client who found you on LinkedIn for profile. They'll ask you like, oh, how on earth did you do that? How did you get listed for so-and-so keyword on LinkedIn? Can I get listed for, patent attorney San Francisco? Can I get listed for cosmetic surgeon New York? Be like, yeah, sure you can, but I'm going to have to charge a couple $100 for that, because that takes my time and effort. So in essence, this can also be a front-end service you can provide, and for anyone who's marketing consultants, this is a good front-end service to provide. Then you can upsell whatever other service that you have, but the most important thing is you need to focus on building trust and meaningful connections, because that's how you build a real business, and this is how you properly leverage LinkedIn to be able to strengthen your connections, strengthen your network. And like Robert Kiyosaki once said, it's your network that determines your net worth, not how many leads you have, not how many people you believe think that you're cool or whatever in business, but it's your network, and it's also the relationship you have with that network itself. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this short video and you really got some, aha moments out of it, and you're happy at the fact that you can finally stop killing trees by getting so many business cards and throwing them at every single person that you meet when you go to the next networking event. Personally, I haven't had a business card since 2012, and I have a lot of people always tell me why, so I finally chose to go ahead and make this video. So I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did making it. So if you feel that it really helped you, or you know of someone who could really be helped by watching this video, feel free to go ahead and share this on your favorite social media channel, and I look forward to going ahead and speaking to you in my next video. Thanks guys.